welcome to This Week on Main Street. I'm Chris Owens, the Executive Director for Noblesville Main Street, here with Perry Williams, our President of the Board. We can officially use that for the next, two and a half months or so.
That's
and then
right.
We'll have to either decide, we probably should talk about what the plans are moving forward.
Well, according to our bylaws, we have to elect a new president anyway.
Well, yeah, we do. So that wasn't unexpected, but you're going to get some time off.
Yeah, I'm going to step down from the board and do a few other things and spend some more time with my grandson down south. But I'll still be around, you know that.
Well, that's a good thing. Not many people have as much of a vested interest in the future of Noblesville Main Street or our direction, as do you as a longtime resident and a person with great experience with Main Street on a different state level and a national level.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. It's been a really great 4 years, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, really.
Well, one of our staple events occurred this last week, and the duck race, I guess I should say, had a little bit of a staple in it.
Yeah.
One of the challenges we face doing so many events is the challenge of weather, and that's come to bite us recently in terms of the farmers market. And I know we talked about it, I think it was last week on the show, probably 2 weeks ago as well. Unfortunately, the weather just hit us a little bit this week, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I mean, and you know, the one thing about it is you know, that's something we can't control. And in the month of August, that was number one or number two in the history of rainfall.
Yeah.
Rainfall and even tornadoes and storms. So
Not the kind of records you want to be setting.
No, not at all.
Necessarily, but I all that to say, I am very proud of our group, proud of the committee for the White River celebration and the duck race, and the way they still executed the event in terms of some challenges, or in the face of some challenges. So, we do always want to say thank you to our sponsors who are there regardless. Adler, Tessner, and Whalen, Industrial Dielectrics, and Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We appreciate their support, as well as that of Sunbelt Rentals, who was a late addition this year, but a big addition this year in helping us execute the duck drop. And then Ryan Metzger, husband of Shauna Metzger, board member of Noblesville Main Street and owner of Little Bloomers, really stepped in along with the Noblesville Fire Department and Jackie Bell and Tim Stottlemyre and his group really did a great job, as well as Courtney's Kitchen. Carrie had food out and was actually, they were delivering it on site. So full menu was available inside, and they were bringing it out to people attending the event, and it stayed open. And then had an enjoyable evening for those that stayed around and enjoyed live music from Ayla until about 7 o'clock on Saturday.
you know, the one thing about it was, Chris, even with this year of all the things that happened to us, like the farmers market had been canceled for a couple of weeks, and not canceled but shortened periods.
Yeah.
And then of course last Saturday a shortened period, which affects. I mean, that's where we sell a lot of our duck tickets. But as far as the crowd, it was not a bad crowd when it came race time.
Yeah.
Okay, but as well as I do, and you were out there all day. And I was out there for about 2.5, 3 hours before the duck, and it kept cloud. I mean, you didn't know what it was going to do. It looked like it was going to, it might storm, may not, so you never knew what was going to happen.
Well, we just took the mindset that we were going to make the best of a challenging situation and to try to inform the public and keep people as up to speed and up to date as possible. And, fortunately through social media now, that's a little bit easier than it used to be, but we tried to keep the word out, and through social media, through local media, just keep people informed. And I can't blame those people who wanted to stay home and not risk the weather. That's certainly their choice. We're very appreciative of those that came out and joined us to support the event. And I think we finally, through the help of the Noblesville Fire Department, they did a tremendous job securing all those ducks, and we haven't taken to separation of the 2,000 that we did drop just yet. That'll be our next task. But you're right. Really, the last 5 Saturdays have been really challenging from a weather standpoint, and we're staring that in the face again this week. That does affect ticket sales moving forward, and or excuse me, in the past. But yeah, Saturday it's looking challenging again.
Yeah, and we have another event coming up here. Actually, multi-events. Not necessarily all of them are ours, but we do have multi-events coming up here Saturday.
And I had a question come in via email this week. Somebody wanted to know why we closed on Saturday, and there was actually lightning closer than our perimeter suggests for safety to shut down. And so our farmers market master, Paul Wood, made the call with my full support, and had a lot of vendors questioning why about 30 minutes later, 10:30, when the first line of storms had rolled through, but really from a liability standpoint, to not close would have been a safety issue.
And I think people have to realize, and it's safety first. I mean, we have a tremendous liability there, and especially where the farmers market sits on where do you go?
Yeah.
I mean, in case of a bad storm, where do you go? Okay.
Yeah.
And so, those things, it is what it is, and there's not much we can do about that. And we do the best we possibly can, and we've invested money in the ability to track it as well as we can, and so that's what we have to do.
It's frustrating, and
it's not like you like to do it either.
No, absolutely not. The duck race is one of my favorite events for the community, and just to see people lining the river walk and lining the bridge, 4 and 5 people deep, trying to get an idea of if their duck won. It's frustrating, and it's frustrating. I feel it for the farmers market vendors on a Saturday. I know that a lot of our local produce people are actually regional Indiana people. That we have people that come from near Muncie, near Kokomo, from the south side, because our market is so popular and draws so many people. We know we have vendors that come from 30 and 45 minutes away. That also service other markets, and we unfortunately have to deal with the weather and stand behind the procedures that are in place. We just ask folks to be patient and to look to our social media for updates. It's one thing we do try to take the time early on Saturday morning. I'm often in contact as early as 5:30 with Paul, our market master, to make sure that we can facilitate a safe event. I do enjoy in the winter when I get to sleep in past 4:45 or so on a Saturday morning, but trust us, we put the time and energy into making sure that our communication is going back and forth, and we'll continue to do so moving forward. So I guess that's probably our best advice for this weekend, and we will talk about the other events happening moving forward, but knowing that we probably have some weather coming in on Saturday morning, and I hear a lot of people say all the time, well, I'm not interested in Facebook, I'm not interested in Twitter. I don't know what else is out there with a more real-time and better option to notify people about changes in programming.
Right.
So that's where our efforts will continue to go. We will try to. We actually have a Facebook feed that populates on our website as well, and make every effort to notify as many people as quickly as possible moving forward. Now, that said, Saturday we do have the farmers market scheduled from 8 a.m. to noon next to Riverview Health, and then we also have a little event happening called the Old Mill Festival. It's the second one that we do. This is the fall version. That'll take place on 9th Street from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we appreciate the support of Peggy Kumler and A Corner Cottage in getting that event set up. I think a lot of vendors have been watching the weather, and we currently have 16 scheduled to be with us on 9th Street. But that also happens almost at the same time as the tour of historic homes from the Noblesville Preservation Alliance. I know those folks have done a great job of putting together a list of historic homes with significance. I know there's a couple on North 10th Street,
Oh, yeah.
but a lot on Connor this year. And certainly wanted to see their event supported. And then to boot, kind of the bonus is if we can stay dry, and I'm not sure what their rain plan is, but the Silver Notes local vocal group have a performance scheduled from 1 to 3 p.m. on the northwest corner of the courthouse lawn.
And what is it? Their 25th
80th.
80th?
80th.
80th.
Little difference in 25th and 80th.
Yeah.
But certainly want to see people get out and support them as well as our local businesses. I know our promotions committee, met this morning and talked through what the next few months really look like for us. And this falls in that week of meetings where our executive committee met last week to review the previous month, and now our board meets tomorrow. We had our design committee that met yesterday. Our promotions committee meets tomorrow, met this morning. Our board of directors meets tomorrow. Our economic, the state's now calling it Economic Vitality Committee instead of Economic Development. So we'll see if that carries on down to Darren Peterson and his group. But meetings coming up, and we're really trying to take into account what the next few weeks are going to be like, what the next few months are going to be like. Obviously, at the beginning of October, we have First Friday coming up, and that's the Fall Festival and Soup Cook-Off. That's always a favorite. Hopefully the weather holds out and is a little bit better, but we do have a tent in downtown Noblesville scheduled. And so if nothing else, you may need to bundle up. It should be relatively dry for that evening. And then the Bicentennial. There's been a lot of talk about that as the Bicentennial Torch Relay nears on October 13th. That'll come up on that Thursday evening in downtown Noblesville. We'll have the Hunter Smith Band here and all kinds of activities. We have now seen how Hamilton County Tourism, who is the local organizer, will have the torch run basically that afternoon, and how it will arrive into Noblesville. Dignitaries scheduled to be present include Representative Susan Brooks, Congresswoman Susan Brooks, scheduled to be here, and I believe Kathy is going to be with us as well as several of our mayors, including Mayor Ditzler and others to be named as their schedule permits and allows. So look for information on that coming up in the next few weeks.
Chris, you might want to touch on, I know this is coming in December, but talk a little bit about this holiday dinner, because we're putting a tremendous amount of effort in this, and it's going to be at a great location downtown in Mateo. So talk a little bit about that and what people may expect.
Yeah, this is kind of the evolution of the holiday dinner. We actually met with our organization committee on Monday, who is our primary fundraising committee, and they're still working hard toward their goal and looking forward to a productive end of the year with them. We're embarking on a community campaign, and I know we talked a little bit about it last week. Elements are still being pulled into what that looks like as far as our Giving Tuesday promotion is going to be part of that this year, and anxious to see what Craig Crosser comes up with from a content standpoint, how we can really help populate that. We'll also incorporate our 2017 membership drive, really the release of that. But thanks for mentioning the holiday dinner. Yeah, it's going to be Sunday, December 4th. I believe 5 to 8 p.m. Or 5 p.m. At Mateo's in downtown Noblesville, and Adson and his crew at Mateo's are looking forward to a great event. We're going to have the run of facility at that time, meaning the whole restaurant is open to us. Where in the past we've only held a portion of it, or only closed a portion of it down. I think it's going to be a great evening, and we'll have local music and great food. Adson is working with his wine retailers to see if we can. How we can incorporate some sort of either wine tasting or special wine as part of the event. I know that we've got a meeting coming up where Jim Wofford and I are going to try to go and see if there's a way we can use a camera and broadcast setup to get what's happening downstairs, upstairs, so that we can employ some technology and really do a fund to need program where we help folks identify not only with just what Main Street does in the community, but where we can ask for support, where we can ask for help. We're really at that crucial time as an organization at the ripe young age of 27 years old of needing to reclaim who we are. And I guess having done that over the past couple of years, it's time to make the ask for support. And think we've got things set up from an administrative fashion in our office to really provide the support that all of these, 60, 70, 80 events that we do, which varies now on an annual basis, plus all the events that we're coming alongside as a promotional partner. You think of things like the turkey trot on Thanksgiving morning and the bed race, things like that, where we're using our First Fridays and other programs now to reach out and create greater exposure for other organizations, how we can really do that better. And all that takes administrative support and financial support. And so we're hoping to help folks identify better with who we are and what we do and how they can get on board.
Sounds great, and a very exciting time. And I know that you put a lot of time and effort in planning this holiday dinner and many of the other events, right along with all the other events that you have to manage. But also, we're trying to be very, very versatile in our menu too on that holiday dinner. Is that correct?
And maybe even step it up a little bit. So hopefully, I hear back from Addison soon. What we discussed was a red meat option, maybe a chicken or fish option, and then of course a vegetarian vegan option as well. Really trying to make it as versatile as possible for as many people to come in and join us. We will offer individual tickets, but we'll also offer table sales where folks can secure an entire table. Do want to mention that we've had a sponsor come on board, and Nova 29 is going to be the presenting sponsor of the holiday dinner. So we certainly appreciate their support, and we do have other sponsorships available. Hard to believe that we're talking about December already, but planning for it, and we will be seeking a sponsor. Should throw this out as well for the holiday parade coming up that Sunday after Thanksgiving. We will be out and active, obviously Thursday morning with the turkey trot, and Thanksgiving morning. And then Friday we'll have ice sculptures available. We do have those coming up available for sale, where companies can sponsor an ice sculpture to be displayed at the same time as the tree lighting is happening in downtown Noblesville, and have recently learned that I think there's going to be another entertainment option happening in the historic courthouse that evening. So excited to see that carry forward, and hopefully we'll have some more details coming up on that in the future. And then Saturday is Small Business Saturday. I haven't hit you up, but I'm assuming you'll probably join me at least for coffee or something.
Yeah, we'll be that. We'll be sitting there being cold and having heaters on us.
See if we can find another heater to pull out there.
That's right. It got pretty tough
this year. No, we had fun out there last year, sitting next to Mateo's and really serving as kind of a concierge or small business connector, helping people find what they're looking for in downtown Noblesville. Everybody makes a big deal about Black Friday. Well, we're going to try to make just as big of a deal about Small Business Saturday.
And I think you can look forward to, now that Facebook has mastered the live Facebook, that you're going to see a few more live Facebook spots on that day too, between you and I and the people uptown.
And we're even talking about maybe extending the shopping hours on First Friday in December. So we will have hot chocolate out by Santa's house, but stay tuned and see if there's an enhanced event coming down the road. That was part of my challenge. Is we had all these ideas thrown out in the promotions committee meeting, and I just want to throw everything out there, but I want to make sure that we've got everything fulfilled first.
Right.
So guess that's just a perfect reason to watch for future shows, and tune into our social media channels. Noblesville Main Street on Facebook. Of course, we have the Noblesville Main Street Market page there, as well as the Historic Noblesville Facebook page. Our Twitter account is @Main Street STRT, and Noblesville Main Street on Instagram. Instagram is the one that kind of gets me because you got to have an image with it. So it's really forced me to go back through Facebook and download some of those pictures to my phone. So you don't care about it. It's just confusing you. But no, I do want to recap in closing and say thank you to our sponsors for the duck race, Adler, Tessner, and Wayland, as well as Industrial Dielectrics and Summers Plumbing and Heating and Cooling. They do all three of those organizations do such a great job in the community, and appreciate the support, as well as that of the Noblesville Fire Department, Tim Stottlemyre and his crew with the city of Noblesville, and Carrie Courtney and Cass over at Courtney's Kitchen. All just tremendous partners and make it such a fun event, even in the midst of some rain and other challenges. So, you have anything else this week?
No, I think that's all now. We'll be taking next week off. Is that correct?
We have a show next week.
Okay, that's right.
And we'll be talking with Alice from Logan Street Sanctuary and Sarah about their upcoming NICE event. I forget what the acronym stands for, but I'll have it with me next week. And then we'll take the following week off because we'll be in attendance at the State of the City.
Sounds good.
So look forward to hear what Mayor John Ditzler has in the works. Really nice article, too, with Deputy Mayor Steve Cook in the Current this week.
Yeah, it was. Really great article.
So look forward to hearing what the city has to present in 2 weeks, and then we'll be back the week after that. Thanks for joining us for This Week on Main Street.